Hello YouTube, it is Championdjk coming at you again with another video, and today I've got some M2 machines for you. Yeah, I bought some M2. I did. So, I don't know what prompted me to do this, but I saw a couple of cool ones in the store, and I picked up some. These are all from different Walmarts and all of that. I didn't pick them all up at once. Now that I have like kind of a compiled amount of them together here, we're just going to open them all up, and I'm going to talk about M2 a little bit. Now, I have been hypercritical of M2 in the past. This is going to be a brand that I don't typically pick up a lot of. I just don't, okay? I will get some stuff here and there. A lot of the times, the reason why is a lot of the models I've gotten have had quality issues. And I don't know if this is going to be the case here, but you know, a lot of collectors have mentioned some quality issues with M2 products over time and all that. And, you know, and then the other thing is they put out a lot of cars with soda liveries and stuff like that, Coca-Cola stuff. That's not something that really trips my trigger. You know, it's not something that I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna buy that because I like Coca-Cola, you know, and they do all like Coca-Cola stuff, I think, pretty much, or whatever, I don't know, beverages. And it's not me. I don't really care for it whatsoever. And it seemed like for a long time, all you could get with M2 is a bunch of soda cars, we'll just call them. So there's no soda cars here. We're not looking at any of that. I picked up a couple things, which decided me to just go ahead and do this video right away, as I did score a chase actually the other day at a Walmart. This is limited to 750 pieces worldwide. The regular of this does not have the gold trim and rims on it like this one does. I am not going to open this up because, frankly, it's just not going to stay with me. I don't think I'm going to keep it, so I'm going to leave it sealed, leave the packaging intact. I just wanted to show it here that I did score a chase. Now, M2 does have chases. They do not denote which car is the chase anymore, but they tell you basically which one could be the chase, because you'll see this is 8,250 pieces and 750 for a chase worldwide. Okay, so yeah, you could score the chase here, but you don't know for sure unless you see a regular one there. But I know that, you know, gold trim is oftentimes what M2 will choose for the traits for chases. So I knew this was a chase, and I went ahead and grabbed it. And like I said, I'm not going to hang on to it. This will get moved on to somebody that collects it. So either trade, or I'll bring it to my local meet, or I don't know, maybe my buddy Jay would want it. I'm not sure. We're going to find out. But setting that aside, I just wanted to show you that. This Blazer, K5 Blazer, was actually in that same case, and I decided to go ahead and pick this one up. So this is one we will open today. This is the Chevy K5 Blazer. I don't think I have any example of this tooling. When M2 puts out a new tooling that I'm interested in, I wait and wait and wait for them to come out with one that doesn't have Coca-Cola all over it, and then, or Fanta, or Sprite, or Tab, you know. I try to get a non-soda car. So I know this casting's been out for a while, or like the Christmas cola one. Like, I don't care. I just want to get one with like regular old, you know, regular, you know, paint jobs on it. I don't want any of the graphics or any of the crazy stuff. So I saw this one, and I'm like, yeah, that ticks the box of being just a standard, you know, truck in a standard color, and I thought it looked good enough to go ahead and snag, and then we went ahead and we picked it up. Now, this one has an opening hood, although this one does not really want to open. Ooh, that's really tough. I'm afraid I'm going to break it. But there is engine detail in there. We need to unscrew it from the base. So if you're not familiar with M2, which I'd be shocked if you weren't, but they come in an acrylic case. The premium ones come in an acrylic case that It's pretty cheap plastic. You know, this is all bendy. It's not really stiff. It's got to be, though, to be able to be sold like at Walmart and keep the cost down, so I get it. And then they're typically going to be screwed to the base. They use a mixture of plastic and metal. They typically use a lot of parts. There's a lot of different little extra parts and stuff with an M2. So I'm sure that can be challenging from a quality perspective to try to keep them. This one's got 2 sets of screws. So a set of screws for this, and then another set for that's actually screwed into the truck itself. So we got to take out 2 sets of screws to free this thing completely, and it's got a rubber band, so which tells me that this top is probably removable. And like I said, I've never had one of these in my collection, so I don't know. And I don't know why this is not coming out. Alright, so there you go, there's that. Kind of keep that all together. And then we need to remove the rubber band, which is looped around the axle. Try to get this off without ripping off the bumper here. And like I said, they have extra little pieces and parts, so you do have to be kind of careful with an M2. It's not like something that you can just give a kid to chuck around and play with and think that it's not going to break, because it will. It's got small pieces and bits and parts. So here is the K5 Blazer. So metal base with plastic. Actually, is that metal or plastic? It's got some plastic and some metal. This one rolls really smooth, which is something you don't always get with M2. It's got the removable top. I actually wish that they would just have kept this attached. I just do. Make it with like that or like this, and don't give the option. The thing I don't like about this being loose is because now like storing it becomes a challenge. You know, and I don't want to put the rubber band back on it, but this thing will fall around and fall off all over the place. But overall, this model looks really good. I don't have any issues with it whatsoever. It's got an opening hood. I don't even care about the hood opening. I care more about it shutting. And it's shut, and it seems to be shut tight. And that's all I care about, because I just am going to leave it shut anyway now that I've opened it one time. So it's a Blazer with a bit of a lift on it, and it's got big tires, and I think overall this looks pretty awesome. I'm glad I picked it up, actually, and no real quality concerns with it. Okay, nothing. So that was a good purchase, I think. So these cost, I think, like $7 or something like that in Walmart nowadays. So I've got one more, actually 2 more. So this is an older one, I think, from the Chevy Camaro set. Now my buddy Jay just gave this to me. He sent it to me in a box. He sends me random stuff, and this is one that he sent me, and this is a Camaro. And this is going to be an older tooling. This tooling, I think, has been around for quite a while. And you can see, I can already tell by looking inside of this thing that looking through the packaging, that this one's not going to be great fit and finish wise when it comes to quality of the casting and quality control, and not anywhere near what they're putting out now with some of the new castings. So I will say it just seems that M2, whether or not they took the criticism to heart, it seems like the quality of their products has improved. And that's, I used to see tons of issues and stuff in the store just looking for them. I would see all sorts of weird issues with castings and cars, and I just don't see that as often anymore. So it appears that they've made some improvements. Now, I mean, this is okay, but the hood, you can see, is kind of popped up here, and it won't sit all the way down. It's just not going to. It'll come all the way up. It opens great, but it doesn't shut great. And shutting great is the thing that I would want. They also do opening doors on some of their castings, and this is one of those. And I just don't, I mean, come on. This door is not put on right, or something is wrong with it. It's not opening. This one does open. You can see inside there. There is some detail on the interior that looks okay. You can see we have an issue with the tire here on this side that was not quite stamped correctly, it looks like, or cut out correctly or something. So there is an issue there. It just overall, this is just not the best era of M2. The axles are, look at that, wonky. It's just not great. It isn't, okay? There's just no two ways about it. This casting could have been good, but it's not. And the doors don't line up quite right. There's some issues with it. It's a good example of maybe an older tooling from M2 during like height of quality problems. And I don't know that that's necessarily true. I don't know when this came out. I'm looking for a copyright date. Sometimes we can tell. This says 2024 cast line. So maybe it did just come out recently. And if it did, I mean, it's an older tooling. I know that. The tooling's been around for quite a while. It's just not impressive. Okay. So we're going to set that one aside. It's cool to have an example of that. Actually, here, we'll put it right there. Why not? This one I just picked up randomly because I'm like, that's kind of a cool looking old car. It's an Oldsmobile 88, and I thought that this looked kind of neat. Now, that is one thing that M2 does that you don't see a lot from other premium diecast manufacturers, is doing cars from like the 50s. And M2 has quite a few castings from the 50s. This being one of them. This one's taped as well. It's got the M2 sticker plus some tape on the bottom. I don't know what the deal is with that. But so again, this is another like premium model one that's going to come in the acrylic case. As you can see to the side here, we have two of the more basic or deluxe model ones, or whatever you want to call them. I'm not sure exactly what the technical is for them, but we have those as well to look at. This one appears to have some opening parts. I do not know how old this tooling is or how long this has been around. Ouch. How long this has been around. But you got your standard acrylic case, vehicle, and then, of course, the screws. So we're going to go ahead and get the screws out. I don't like that they use two screws. I've mentioned this a couple times. I wish they'd use the screw in the peg. It just makes it much easier to take on and off of the base. And that's what makes me not want to put it back on and store it that way. So let's take a look at this. All right, so we've got opening doors, I can see. We've got a hood that is a little popped open. Let's go ahead and open it all the way. There's the detail inside of there. It looks pretty decent. Good detailed inserted headlights. They look pretty good. They do the round headlights pretty good. Good painted detail on the back as well. And, you know, pretty sharp graphics. So not bad. The other thing with M2 is I don't think they're exactly 1/64 scale. I think some of the models run a little big. But I don't know. I could be completely wrong. So the hood, it kind of wants to shut all the way, but it really doesn't. In this model, it's not as obvious that it doesn't shut, so that's good. It's got the hood ornament there, but I feel like it'd be just better. I don't know what stops it from just shutting properly. You know, it's a little bit crooked and it's a little bit to the side, and that might be being a little nitpicky in this scale, but I would like it to just shut and stay there. And then it's also got opening doors. Now these, try to get at here. Ooh, that swings open really smoothly. And the one on this side swings open really smoothly as well. So this is a well done door opening in 1/64 scale. So not the best scale to be doing opening doors, but this is pretty cool, done pretty well there. So you could display it if you want with the door open and the doors shut. The door lines on this side are pretty darn good. The door lines on this side are okay, except the door is just slightly crooked, as you can see there. So I don't know if that's fixable. These things are, there's one screw there, but yeah, so I think they are just screwed together and you can take them apart. But see this, and maybe if we just take our time we could line it up right. Probably not, but that's about the best it's going to get. Not super obvious if you're not looking at it super close up, but still, it's there. We're going to point it out. And yeah, I'm being critical and with these models. And I kind of have to be just because, you know, I'm being real. But like I said, I picked all these up. I spent my own money on them. And something, you know, made me want to get them. So, all right. Before we get into the hauler pieces or these larger pieces over here, let's go ahead and open up two of the, I don't know what you call it, the auto drivers line. That's what it is. So auto drivers, now these come on a cardboard card, like a regular, you know, like I guess Hot Wheel, for lack of a better thing to say. And they come 6 cars to a case. And actually, in general, I usually end up liking these better than the premium ones. And one of the reasons why is because these, as we'll see, they don't have any opening parts typically. And so there's less to get messed up. They don't come with the acrylic case. That's okay. They generally are made with less pieces than the premium ones, castings. Although some of these are used, you know, in both premium and auto drivers, but in general, we'll just say no opening parts, and oftentimes they will also have a plastic base. I do not care about it having a plastic base whatsoever. That is definitely not a knock. They are less expensive than the acrylic case alternative ones, and we're just going to take this off of the base. We can toss this. I don't need to keep it. There's really no way. I don't even know why they include that in there, to be honest, because if you don't have a cover for it, like, what's the point of having the plastic base? I guess it prevents them from having to make another plastic insert piece to hold the car in. Maybe. I don't know. But this is our Corvette. 1959 Corvette XP86. And this thing is pretty cool. So I picked this up because this is like, I don't have an example of this tooling from M2, and I don't collect every single tooling from M2, but I thought this would be a cool one to get. And it's plastic base, it's screwed together. This one rolls fairly smoothly. Quality wise, I don't really see much wrong with it at all. It's got good quality, and the other thing about this is it's just, there's less, well, I said that a little bit too early. There's a little bit of an issue with the window on one side, not sitting down all the way. So it is on there crooked. I don't know if there would be any way for me to fix it. It is very hard plastic, or why exactly it's in like that. But again, that's difficult to notice unless you're really picking these apart. So overall, I think this car is kind of cool. And I don't know if anybody does it in premium 1/64 scale. I don't think they do. This is like a concept Corvette, isn't it, or something like that? I'm not even really familiar with what the real history on the vehicle either, but I think it does look cool. Cool looking Corvette. And so that I thought was pretty neat, and decided to pick one of those up. The other one that I think is cool is this thing, the belly tanker. I got it in Moon Eyes, which I think is appropriate for this. And, you know, this is one of those, I think it's just like supposed to be like a land speed record car or something like that. I'm not super familiar with what it is. But this one is again in that same thing, and it looks like you can find a chase version of this, which is the 750 pieces. This is not that version. I don't know, well, at least I'm pretty sure it's not. I don't know what the chase looks like. I'm guessing it has gold accents and gold rims, but could be completely wrong on that. Do not know. But here is this thing, the belly tanker. So they do some vehicles, right, that no one else does, and that's the reason why I usually end up snagging them, is because of that. So I don't have a 1/64 Olds 88, right? I don't have a 1/64 scale belly tanker. I don't have a 1/64 scale of that weird Corvette, the XP86. So that's kind of a no-brainer. This one I just thought looked good, and that's why I picked it up. And the same thing we're going to see with the stuff back here. I mean, we do got the big dually square body to look forward to here in a minute. But here's this one. So this one is all metal, it feels like, I think. I don't think this base is plastic. And This one rolls really well, and it looks pretty darn cool and good. And it's 1/64 scale, and it's probably pretty close. And I like it. I think it's neat, so I decided to go ahead and pick it up. And these ones aren't too terribly expensive. I think they're like $5 or something like that. But that's a cool looking little car, and it's neat. It's neat. Like I said, a good example of something in 1/64 that I don't think really anybody else does, or at least not that I'm familiar with. All right, now we get into these guys, and I think what we'll do is we'll open up the Speed Dog gear banging shift knobs, kind of looking like Snake Mongoose style stuff here. With this, it's not obviously, but kind of looking like it. It's a Dodge Challenger, and then 1966 Dodge L600 cab over, and that is pretty cool that we've got an actual licensed truck with a licensed drag racing car. So we can go ahead and I'll cut open the one end. So these, like the premium counterpoint parts, come with an acrylic case. Now these are not cheap. I can't even remember exactly how much they cost, but they're not. But maybe for what you get, there's a good value there. So big acrylic case, that's pretty cool. And then we've got the models, obviously. And these are going to also be screwed down with multiple screws. Do that real quick. Let's take the car. Actually, let's just take it all out of here. And one more screw for the car. So I've seen a lot of like this style with the soda stuff, and I wanted to get one of these drag cars that they've come out with. Oh my gosh, one of these screws is in there. Actually, make that 2 of the screws. I can't get the screws out. I'm gonna end up stripping them. Well, that stinks. Let me see if I can find a flathead that I will be able to wedge in there. Get the screw out without stripping it. Hang on, I gotta take it off camera. But anyway, the drag cars, I think, came out right around the time that Hot Wheels, and I could be completely wrong, but right around the time that Hot Wheels came out with the kind of reboot of drag strip demons. When they put drag strip demons in car culture, I think that's about the time that these came out, or shortly after. All right, so we got that. What came off of here? There's little posts and stuff with the screws. Trying to put these back in the case, not great, not fun. But I don't know how else to store the things, so I may have to put them back in there. All right, so here's your truck. This truck actually rolls really well, which is quite a surprise. There's the front of it. We got inserted details for headlights. Here's the base of it. So this is very lightweight, extremely lightweight. So this is all plastic up here. So this whole section right here is plastic. The cab of the truck is metal. The bottom of the truck is metal, but you can see there ain't much metal being used there. We got real rubber dualies, although they're very, very skinny. And overall, though, pretty nifty. It looks pretty good. Looks kind of nice. The plastic does look a little bit cheap. It's just the way colored plastic versus painted metal, it just looks different, and you can definitely tell this is plastic when it's out of the acrylic box, because it takes away a little bit of the glossiness or glare from it. No moving parts on the truck or anything like that. No like ramps that come out or anything to that degree, but we've got a decent looking truck, and it looks okay. And then we've got the drag racing car, which Opens up real easy. It's a big, heavy metal body. The body is actually quite heavy in metal. And then the base is also metal, with the exception, of course, the engine detail and all of that. And then it's got the bar to display the vehicle with the body up position, which is pretty cool. Now, the only thing that's not cool is that this thing doesn't want to shut completely. Like, I want it to sit down like that. And why is it? What is stopping it from doing that? Is it this thing getting in the way? What is it? So that's slightly annoying. The thing rolls. I could probably play with it for a bit and try to figure out what exactly is holding it up. I think it's actually this edge right here is hitting. Maybe I can get it to like snap in almost. Put pressure right there. No, I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. Not sure. It doesn't really like feel like there's anything in the way, really, which is weird. It's like maybe it's just a hinge. I don't know. Anyway, that's something we can play with off camera. But overall, you know, it looks pretty cool. Kind of regretting this purchase, to be honest. Just because I'm like, what am I going to do to store this thing now? Put it back in the box? Probably what I'm going to do. And honestly, I just think I shouldn't have picked this up. I should have just waited. If I could get this, something like this in a realistic drag livery without the truck, that I would go after probably. Not this. Not this whole unit. So, you know, whatever. You make decisions and sometimes you regret the decisions you make. So, we're going to say I am not a huge fan of that one, actually. Then we got this guy. This is a Chevy GMC. One's a GMC, one's a Chevy, yeah. We've got the 73 Chevy Cheyenne Super 30, which is this big boy right here. And then we've got the 1975 GMC Sierra Grande 15, which is this. I picked this one up, and this is how I prefer it. If you're going to get like the big acrylic case ones, the sets, I like it when it doesn't come with a COE truck. I like it when it comes with 2 vehicles, or sometimes 3 vehicles, depending. So we picked this one up, and it's got the square body with that like toolbox rear end thing. I'm sorry, I don't know the technical term for it, so I apologize. And then we got the big crew cab looking long box with a thing there. I don't know, whatever that is. I'm not a truck aficionado, so I don't know technical terms. I apologize. I'm a dum-dum. All right, we're going to go ahead and hopefully unscrew this with ease. We'll take both of them off of the base here. And by the way, these screws, if they are in tight, they strip really easy. They're a very like tin screw. So you got to be kind of careful, because if you do slip, you could end up having to drill one of these out. And that's not fun. Trying to get it out of there, or cutting a slit in it and using a flathead, which I've had to do as well. It's not a good time, we'll just say. So these 2 up front here were in a lot tighter than the ones in the back, but we did it. If I ever put these back in the case, I will put them in very loosely. All right, so what do we got? 2 pretty cool looking trucks, honestly. Let's start with this one. Heavy too. So this one's got a metal base. This back piece feels super heavy. The front feels pretty solid too. This is the GMC. The hood pops up pretty good. You got some engine detail in there. The wheels look nice. I like the wheels. The hood shuts all the way down. That's what we want. And actually, the back of this is metal. I thought that would be plastic for the little hitch. That's actually one of the most realistic looking hitches I think I've ever seen on 1/64 scale. Don't know that there's anything that it can hitch to, but who cares? And This one's pretty awesome, actually. I really do like it. I think it's really good. It's basic. You have an opening hood. There's no opening doors. The paint's on it very, very thick, so you can't even really see the door lines, but that's okay. I don't care really about that. It's a nice color orange. Ooh, does the back come down? No, it doesn't. Thankfully, it doesn't, actually. And we got little jeweled inserts for the tail, and, you know, of course, for the grill in the front. I think this looks pretty good. Big fat tires on the back, not dualies, just big fatties. Kind of has a little bit of a rake to it. A little bit odd, but because it's like lowered in the front almost is what it looks like. Kind of a weird look, but I'm kind of digging it. All right, and then we got this guy. This is the big boy. This one is what, the super, what did they call it? Let's see. Me dumb. Chevy Cheyenne Super 30. Super. It's super large. Very, very long truck. And it's got dualies in the back. Metal base. This one has a hitch, but it's plastic. Right here. No tailgate goes down. I'm going to say we have the opening hood feature because these are basically the same casting. There's your engine in there. Was it like LS swapped? And then we've got white painted. I think the overall color combo is fantastic. The white wheels with this blue. Kind of almost tealish color, or robin's egg almost. I don't know. It's blue, and it looks really good. And then we got the tan interior. We've got this big rack thing up here, which I don't know what that's for. And jeweled inserts for the tail lights, and of course inserts for the headlights. Pretty awesome, actually. I think this is a really nice one. The bed is a little bit bananaed. It's hard to, the wide angle lens makes it look worse, but you can see the gap down here is tighter than the gap up there, which means this thing, and that's classic when you have two different parts, like this truck bed piece is a separate piece to this. You could get real crazy and funky and like interchange all this stuff around, because you could actually, I think you could anyway, like unscrew the bed of this truck, put it on this one. You could play some weird stuff with it. But yeah, so I think this looks really, really nice. So to recap here, I don't collect M2 typically, okay? I don't, but I had picked up a few things recently. I thought we'd do a video on it, and I'm going to say, so this was given to me. I didn't actually pick this out, but we're going to put this on the bad side. I'm going to put these two trucks on the good side. I'm going to put this truck on the good side. I'm going to put this guy, even though it's got a little issue with the window piece, not a big deal. We got that one on the good side. This definitely on the good side. I'm happy with that purchase. You know, and I'm happy with this little purchase too. It's an odd little bland car, nothing too exciting. I bought the Chase, you know, I'm not going to keep it. And then this one I don't really actually like, now that I got it out of the package. It's just because this feels so cheap, and this won't shut all the way. And that's really irritating to me that it doesn't. I don't know what the issue is with it, but it doesn't. This thing is kind of just a mess, okay? But I'm glad we had it to show, and I will keep it because it's a good example of a mess. And I didn't really have, I don't think I had this casting. This is a 69 Camaro, right? 68, right? Whatever. Anyway, this Camaro. But yeah. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Wow, this video went really long, and hopefully you enjoyed it, all that good stuff. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you collect M2 at all? What do you think about their quality? What do you think about their casting choice? What do you think about their soda cars? That's the thing that really keeps me away from them. But I guess it makes it special when you can find vehicles that don't have, you know, Coca-Cola all over them, or 7-Up, or Cherry Coke, or Sprite. I don't know. They do Dr. Pepper. I don't know. Pick your favorite soda. They probably got it, except for Pepsi products. They don't do Pepsi products, and I love Mountain Dew. It's one of my guilty pleasures. So, all right. Anyway, thank you guys. Have a good day.